A big wingman welcome to the Wingman's Path, to positivity, to raising your vibration, and to creating a life of your choosing. I thank you for joining me today on the path. My name is Michael Gross. I'm the wingman on the Wingman's Path today. And I love when we get together. I love being the wingman on the Wingman's Path. And I love sharing positive energy with you and all of us on the path. Because I have found when all of us can share positive energy together, it just makes it that much easier for each of us to attract more positive energy into our lives, right? And once that happens, I always say the sky's the limit. It's like standing on the shoulders of giants. It just makes it that much easier to accomplish your goals or manifest your desires. So I was doing a little bit of research today, and I came upon something I had written about, a while back, and it really came from Daniel Goleman, the author of Emotional Intelligence, in which he had said that the average human has 50 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now, since then, there's been a lot of other research that has agreed with that the human mind, on average, the average human person, the average human being has 50,000 thoughts in a day. Now, I'm a pretty simple guy, and I was thinking, wow, 50,000. When I first saw that, I was like, 50,000 thoughts? I thought I didn't have more than 200, and most of them were about the same thing, right? Turns out, we all, on average, have 50,000 thoughts. Now, while that may be surprising, what wasn't as surprising was that 95% of those thoughts are the same thought we thought yesterday, right? How crazy is that? But the thing that really got to me the most, especially as you can imagine being the wingman on the Wingman's Path, was that 80% of our thoughts, or 40,000 of our thoughts each day are negative. 80% of our thoughts are negative. 20% are positive. So if we have 50,000 thoughts in a day, 40,000 of them on average are negative. 10,000 of them on average are positive. So it got me thinking, and that is really the whole reason I started my Wingman Minute, right? What became the Wingman's Path. Because as I started thinking about that I have 50,000 thoughts in a day and 40,000 are negative, I thought, if I could just practice for 1 minute a day thinking positive thoughts, then perhaps I could lower my negative thoughts from 40,000 to maybe 39,500. And therefore I increase my positive thoughts to 10,500. And maybe to 39,000 and 11,000 and 38,000 and 12,000. And what has happened for me, I only hope happens for you. Because I have reached what Malcolm Gladwell, in his book The Tipping Point, would call the tipping point. Where I believe, I don't have any science to back it up, but experientially I can tell you that I believe I have more positive thoughts in a day than negative. I've reached the tipping point where I have more positive thoughts in a day than negative. Can you imagine how powerful that is and how wonderful that is to have happen? And you can do the same just by practicing a little positivity, right? Just by shifting the way your brain thinks and practicing for 1 minute a day. What could be better than that, right? Just 1 minute a day. I said I'm a pretty simple guy, and I knew as a pretty simple guy, I wanted to keep things really simple. And so I started practicing for 1 minute a day. That's all I did. I practiced positivity for 1 minute a day. And you know what? When I started, I couldn't even hold a positive thought for 1 minute. Maybe I'd hold it for 5 or 10 seconds, but I'd keep working on it until now I can keep them going for a long time, right? So I thought as a practice today, you and I could do, and we could just say, I'm tipping the scales in my favor. I'm tipping the scales in my favor. And as you say it, I want you to recognize that the more the more thoughts you think that are positive, the more you continuously raise the ratio of positive thoughts to negative thoughts you have. So if you're average, like let's say most of us are average, and we have on average 40,000 negative thoughts in a day and 10,000 positive thoughts, we start building our positive thoughts to where we have 11, 12, 13, 15, 18, 20, 25,000 positive thoughts, 30,000 positive thoughts, and only 20,000 negative. And we've tipped the scales in our favor. How great is that, right? And all of a sudden, instead of always moving to the negative, you know how hard it is? If you're trying to keep a positive thought for 1 minute, but 4 out of every 5 thoughts are negative that you have in your brain, it takes some concentration, right? It takes a little bit of self-discipline. But you can do it. You can do it. And I can do it. And we all can do it on the Wingman's Path. All we have to do is practice tipping the scales in our favor. So say it with me, and let's think about how great it is to tip the scales in our favor, right? I'm tipping the scales in my favor. I'm tipping the scales in my favor. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? Isn't it great when you tip the scales in your favor and you start having more positive thoughts in a day than negative? You can do it. And you know how I know that? Because I've done it. Because I recognize now. And I was coming from a pretty dark place, or maybe I was starting with 45,000 negative thoughts and 5,000 positive thoughts. But I assure you, I've now tipped the scales in my favor. I've reached the tipping point of positive thoughts over negative thoughts. And you can too. Just by saying, I'm tipping the scales in my favor. And as you say, think about how great that is. And how great it is to be with others. To have right now, we have 4,200 winged women on the path with us, helping you create more positivity. It's a wonderful feeling to tip the scales of positivity in our favor. And I'm so thankful I could be here with you to do it. Have a wonderful day, one in which you think positive thoughts and you recognize that you're moving in the direction of tipping the scales in your favor. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Your Wingman Michael from the Wingman's Path here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, signing off.